The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party, joined by Kathy Holtshouser and Tony V. You got some visuals aids. We might as well start right with that.
Wait a minute. What happened to, like, paralegal extraordinaire
Oh, don't.
and the greatest comedian of all time?
That's at the very end.
Okay.
You know, I don't know about you being I'm sure you are a paralegal extraordinaire.
Yep.
I am certainly not the best comedian of all
Oh,
time.
you might be.
No, I think you are.
To us, you are.
Because I would be more successful if I was.
No, to us, you are.
You wouldn't
to you
be,
guys,
You wouldn't be
thank
doing
you.
a podcast with Rick Carter and
No,
Kathy
I
Holtshouser?
would always do this podcast.
all right,
Because you
all right.
were early on to recognize my visionariness.
Genius.
Genius.
You're both geniuses.
But let's be honest.
You don't
No.
have to let me into that.
If I was that good, someone would have discovered me by now.
You have been discovered. You're on The Heat, which is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
A couple of
The
other.
Town.
The Town.
The
yeah.
Town.
Yep.
I
Yep.
guess they've been playing I Feel Pretty because I've gotten a lot of Facebook messages
Oh,
about
okay.
my turn as the dry cleaner in that.
And then the other one, Sweeney killing.
Sweeney's
Oh,
Killing Sweeney.
Yeah.
You definitely stole that show. You had a Seinfeld episode that
I did,
you
20
that you
carried.
get paid 31 cents a year for, right?
Seinfeld is still, it's like, I think it's Seinfeld is cigar money.
Okay.
You know, it's
yeah.
I put it's in category. There's chump change,
Yeah.
which comes most every day of my life.
Yeah.
You know, like from Brotherhood, I'll get 19 checks.
For
totaling
2 cents.
like
$19.
totaling 20 cents,
Yeah, yeah.
$26 or something like that.
That'll buy you a cigar, though.
Yeah, one.
right.
But
So how does Seinfeld do it? If the show airs, you
Every
get paid?
time it airs?
Or,
in any time in it goes in 13-week cycles.
Okay.
So if something you're in runs any time in 13 weeks, they
Okay.
have to pay you.
okay.
Whatever their rate. And it's a diminishing rate. I don't understand.
Can you imagine their accountants?
Oh.
Like, how crazy that must be.
No,
like,
it was funny. I was watching, there was a TV show I binged called Barry, which is very good with Bill Hader.
Barry?
Barry, yeah.
Never heard of it.
About a hitman
Okay.
who stumbles into an acting class.
Yeah.
And it's very funny.
Oh, good.
But they hang out at a bar called Residuals.
I like that.
And the opening shot of this place called Residuals was a check on the wall for 2 cents.
Oh,
That's
okay.
nice.
Which I
That's
can,
nice.
So,
you know,
yeah, you
if
can
you're in the
totally
business,
see
that.
You can relate to
Yeah.
it. You know.
You said you're going to give me a Seinfeld check so we can put it on the wall.
Yeah, I have
All
one
right.
at home.
All
Well,
right.
I think that
You
he
sure?
has some other visuals that
No,
he
this
wants to
is my
share
new
with
thing,
us.
and I apologize in advance to people who are listening and not watching this.
Okay.
That's all right.
But if you watch, I have recently been made aware of the ridiculousness of receipts.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
And rebates.
and rebates.
Yep.
And everything else, which I'm never going to do anything
Is
with.
that
It's
CVS?
No. Here's the gag. This is from the post office.
Wow.
This is from the post office, and I would say that's a good 15 inches
How much
long.
did you buy that day?
I mailed, my wife mails packages to every kid we've ever known that's in college. And Valentine's Day is coming
Oh, that's
up.
so sweet.
So they need chocolate hearts and socks.
Oh, wow. All
And
right.
she sends my daughter the biggest, and then luckily my son I don't have to mail anymore.
yeah.
You can just
Although-
kick it down the stairs,
Down
right?
the stairs,
Yeah.
although I think I might have mailed it today. So anyway, so
All right, well.
I walk out of the post office with a 15-inch
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
thing
Yeah.
with no rebates. Yesterday I go into Staples.
Oh, Staples is.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
what'd you
just
get at
bought,
Staples?
I just bought literally folders.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm starting my taxes and I put
Yeah.
everything in a
Yep,
folder
yep.
marked what it is
Yep.
and then go back and
You got a lot of
calculate it.
$10 off
So I got
everywhere.
a $10 off for stuff I am never going to buy. And if I sign up for something, I get $50 off. And that's got to be close to 2 feet long.
Of
Yes.
wasted paper and
Of
ink.
wasted
You're right.
paper and ink.
You're right. You're right.
Then today,
Yeah.
I go into CVS.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's the
And
worst.
bought one bag of candy and
Yeah.
donated $1 to heart disease.
Okay.
Because I'm a giver that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. That's like 5 feet.
It's about It's about 4.5 feet.
That is insane. But is there anything good on there? Because they have some like $5 coupons.
As I was walking out, the guy goes, you got a buck on this. And I went, whoa, a buck. I'm going back. So I might get a buck off. So I'm going to share my feedback. It says right here, share your feedback.
Say what a waste.
How about cutting the shit with the 5 foot long?
I mean, the profit they made on that candy you bought is gone on this.
It's on the paper. Look at this. And what do I got?
You do have $1
first
off.
month of Care Pass. Ask associate to enroll today.
Do you ever even read these though?
Sometimes
this
I
is
do
the only
because
time.
sometimes
I don't.
there's a gem like the $5
there
off
is.
one.
I got $1 off extra bucks rewards.
Yep, that's
$5.
that's $1. So that's
Right.
$1.
That's a buck.
Yeah.
$5 off any $20 shave products and razors. Well, that will come in handy.
No,
'cause
that's not bad.
razors
really.
now cost about
I know, but you're not shaving, so-
$14,000.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still trim
Oh,
every now and
okay.
again.
So that would be a good one.
Right? That's pretty good.
$4 off.
$4 off any Maybelline cosmetic.
That wouldn't, unless you're
Yeah.
going to buy
Have you been
something for your
using a lot
wife.
of Maybelline
Sometimes I
lately?
like to
Look pretty?
Sometimes I like to powder my hiney.
Okay, no,
just
that's
to feel
That's not
pretty.
Maybelline.
No, you don't Maybelline?
No, that would be like Johnson & Johnson, like,
like
baby
baby powder.
powder.
$3 off $12 St. Ives facial scrub
Okay, so-
cleansers.
That's
Maybe they think if you're eating that much chocolate, you're going to break out in pimples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep.
So they're heading that
Yep.
off. Then I got $2 off
Wow.
CVS Healthcare brand pain reliever or sleep aid.
Okay.
All right?
that might come in handy.
That might come in handy.
And you're only halfway through this thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm only halfway down
Wow.
the thing.
Wow.
Then I get $2 off Garnier skincare molecular structure stuff.
Oh, I like the 40%.
I got 40% off a Garnier skincare active, whatever
Okay.
that is. It must not be moving if they're giving you 40% off.
Right. This is active.
Right.
One.
And then I got $2 off a $6 Colgate toothpaste, mouthwash, or toothbrushes.
Could use that.
Boy, could I use that.
Yep.
And $2 off any photo cards, books, or prints.
No.
And $1 off Tums rolls or 12 count.
yeah.
So basically, it's $1. You got
A buck.
$1
I got a buck.
in the bucks.
Right.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
And it's as small. It's as big as a small child.
Have you ever
It's got to end.
Have you ever been behind somebody that has all those coupons? Like
yeah.
like true couponers.
Oh, yeah.
It's an art.
leave
Oh,
with
yeah.
like 100 products.
Oh, yeah.
And they owe money.
They give
The store
them
owes them money.
$10 back.
They had that show on called Extreme
Yeah,
Coupon,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
I used to marvel at when I'd watch because I'd go, I know one thing, that if I was in line behind these people, they would be getting a punch right in the back of the head.
yeah.
They
about
would
now.
they would be an assault and battery.
Right. Nobody needs that much orange soda.
The ones I don't like is people buying the raffle tickets. All right, I'll have 3 number 5s, I'll have 4 number 7s, I'll have 8 number 9s.
Oh, scratch tickets.
Scratch tickets, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's unique. to
With
him.
coupons?
With
No
you
coupons.
can't.
Yeah, you're
That's
changing the
all gonna
subject.
be cash.
I can extrapolate. Wow.
And you did.
You know how
And you did.
know how conversations usually veer off.
But you
a
know
little?
those extreme couponers?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were two sisters, right? So
Yeah.
they were twins, actually, two twins actually, and
yeah.
Two twins.
and they
Don't get her going.
That's quadruplets. Two twins are quadruplets.
see,
Don't get her going,
see?
please.
Me and Tony are on the same page on
Please.
this one.
Please.
And they would check out their area, and whoever was giving out a free like ice cream on their birthday,
Yeah.
that's where they went out for lunch.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They
Oh, everything was like a money saving.
yeah.
frugality.
And I said that is not how I'd like to
Yeah.
spend my birthday.
It's exhausting.
Exhausting.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
I want, is to be laying on my deathbed going, remember that time I got a free ice cream?
And
On
we
my
got
birthday.
like free coffee in the
Oh,
morning
remember
because it was
that?
our
Oh,
birthday.
Right.
I feel so personally satisfied.
And we brought home all this useless junk that we're never going to use in our lifetime, but we saved $200.
Right.
You have a birthday coming up.
I
don't
do
you?
actually.
Oh, happy
Yeah,
birthday.
You
thank
can get
you.
an ice cream.
Oh no, but guess what?
What?
We'll be here on my birthday next.
Oh, we're here
Yes.
next
Why?
Tuesday?
Why
Yep.
shouldn't? Why would you take? This,
I was going
this off
to.
From the, I know you were.
But
I
I'm
know
not
you were.
anymore.
Well, happy birthday, early
Do you
birthday.
have some presents?
Here you go.
Thank
Take the
you.
coupons
Thank you.
and have at
I
it.
like it.
Not that you need any facial stuff, but you go right ahead. And you have my $1. It's for
Okay,
you.
thank you. I really appreciate that gesture.
So there you go.
There you go.
That's my beef for
I
today.
like that.
That's,
Woo!
that's
I like
my
that.
gripe.
Are we done?
All right,
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party.
I'm exhausted now.
I'm
going to put
exhausted.
my head down on the desk.
Yeah.
And if
exactly.
you need me, poke me.
If you
We're
guys
gonna
have
poke you.
any
Yeah.
questions about real estate, give us a call. Any further questions after
Don't
this
call
show?
me. Call Rick.
Yeah, any further. No, this is what I thought I'd talk about today. We could talk about today. And you read the notes, so you know exactly where I'm headed with this. What gets brokers in trouble when they have a listing? And I think we can find out what they get in trouble for and what the cure is.
Right.
So, like in golf, you always have faults.
Yeah.
You know, I slice it or...
Right, I hook.
Or
Right.
what gets professional people in trouble,
In
at
trouble.
a closing,
Right.
not
Right.
necessarily just brokers.
Right.
Right.
We could be the ones getting in trouble.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean real trouble, but like causing trouble for our clients.
Exactly.
Now, are these things that people do willingly, or are
No,
these like
no.
traps that they fall into?
Traps they fall into. They just might
Or
not know.
unwillingly.
Unwillingly.
They
Yeah.
just
do
might not
something
know.
Stupid.
Our theory is, and we've talked about it forever there, if they do a great closing, that broker's probably going to get referrals. So we just have a bunch of questions here on how would you handle it in a particular situation.
Right, and the first one we're going to talk about is, I think this is the one that you should start with at the top, right? When you
That's what.
manage your clients' expectations.
Yep.
Manager. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like,
they
you know-
want the moon.
Right.
Yeah, and you're going to say, you know what?
Right.
I'm not sure I can deliver you the moon, but this is what we're going to
Right,
do
we
to
get
see
you
if
a-
we can get you the moon.
We can get
or
you a nice ride on a roller coaster.
No, it's a
Yeah.
great point. So if you don't
Right.
get anything out of this podcast, and why would I assume that?
Why would we start today?
manage the expectations.
Right. I think I think that, you could use that as a life thing. Like, if
Sure.
someone says, do you want to go out on Friday? Well, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. If I say, oh, yeah, that person thinks that
You're going
I'm
out on
in.
Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
But if I say, I'm not really sure, can I check my calendar and
Let
get
me
back
check
to you?
my
I
calendar.
just manage the expectation. So she's not going to get mad at me when I call her and
Yeah.
say, it's not going to work
All right,
out.
so here's an
Yeah.
example of managing someone's expectations. Some friend of yours, say you're a broker, calls you. Excuse me, I have a little cold, so don't make me laugh.
That's right.
at all
Have
today.
Don't make him laugh.
No.
Friend of yours calls and says, I want to sell my $1 million house in Massachusetts, and I'm buying a $1 million house in New Hampshire.
Okay.
I have calculated pretty close to how much I'm getting out of it. I go online, and I see that I owe $800,000 to my lender.
Okay.
I know what your commission is, and I know what I need for the purchase of the new property, for closing costs for the new property.
Okay.
I've calculated that, and I think I'm netting $10,000 that I desperately need.
I would say.
I don't know anything about this person, but that's a bad place to start.
Correct.
Because you've already
We've
built
already-
in.
Yeah, there were. I know that there were 3 big problems with that.
All right,
Right.
so go ahead.
But from you, like a layperson,
layperson,
you
I
know
know
that you're
that-
too close for comfort.
Right.
$10,000 that you desperately
Right.
need. First of all, is a bad
Right.
place to start.
So the first
Right.
thing you're going to say is, I don't think you're netting out $10,000.
well, I would say, can I see your numbers?
Where'd you get these figures?
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Right.
But they
And-
came from a person that desperately needs $10,000, and
Right.
people sometimes hear what they want to hear
So
or see what
if
they
you
want to
go
see.
online,
Which is the same thing said with the young people on Tinder now when they actually meet the person.
Right.
Where
well,
did you get these figures?
Yeah.
This is not
Where
what
did
I'm
you get
saying.
this picture?
what,
Right.
what did I tell you? I'm going to cough.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
don't
yes.
make 'em-
So the
don't-
first thing
yeah.
is they go online, the seller, and says, I found out my payoff's $800,000.
So that's the first problem.
So why is it not $800,000?
Because 99.9% of the mortgages out there, when you make your February 1st mortgage payment, you're paying for the month of January.
From
you're
behind.
always
Right.
paying
Behind.
you're always
Arrears.
paying
Right.
arrears.
Sure.
Right.
Like when you pay rent on February 1st, you're paying for the whole month of
Forward.
February. So
not-
that's
right.
people don't understand that. So
So they think, but the bank works opposite.
So if they're
Correct.
closing on the 10th of February, someone may give me advice. Don't make your February mortgage payment, and so now you have like say $2,000 or $3,000
It's extra.
in your
More.
account.
On your payoff.
Right, on your payoff.
And on an $800,000 loan, that's going to add up.
Right.
So not only your January payment but like 10 days in February.
And well, 12 days in February if we're
12.
closing on the 10th, right?
I
So
know.
so there's a month and a half of interest that's going to be tacked on to that $800,000.
Which could be $4 or $5 grand.
Most people do not take into consideration.
Right.
So
Idiots. You're all fools.
Next one, I didn't hear the calculation for state tax stamps.
Right.
So when she was selling her house in Massachusetts at $1 million, $4.56 per thousand.
there's another $5,000
Correct.
coming off. So right there, we have just found a $9,500 error.
Correct.
Now she's
in their
down to
thinking.
$500.
And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know this, but when you move into New Hampshire,
If you're selling in Massachusetts and moving to New Hampshire, then you get hit with the sales tax, the excise
so how much
tax.
do they get you for that one as a buyer?
As a buyer, $7.50
so
on
on
the
that
$1,000.
so on that $1 million house, she's spending $7,500.
Yeah.
Just to move to New Hampshire.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I see an error there right away.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a backwards move.
That's backwards. That's backwards.
But if you sell in New Hampshire and buy in New Hampshire,
nothing.
No,
you still do.
You still?
But then you're paying $15 per thousand based on both the houses, like $750 and $750.
Wow.
Right.
So
Yeah.
in short, the only good thing New Hampshire has going for it is liquor stores on the highway.
Right. Well, they don't have a sales tax.
Oh, they don't have a sales tax.
And they don't have an income tax.
Or an income tax.
So that's how they make their money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's okay because all the income tax and property tax you haven't paid is property tax.
Property taxes
They
are
have,
high.
yeah.
And so instead of paying sales tax and income tax, you pay high property tax and high excise tax.
Why don't people get that they're getting their money one way or the other?
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is the thing I don't get.
Right.
Exactly.
The whole tax thing escapes me too.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, every nickel I have is taxed.
Right.
Right.
I get
It
get
is.
money. The federal government takes a tax, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Then
Yeah.
the state takes a tax. I own a house. I pay a property tax.
Yep.
I own a car. I have an excise tax.
Yeah.
Yep.
I go to buy gas. It has tax.
Yeah.
Yep.
I go to a store and I get sales tax.
Yeah.
Oh, you go
How
to a
much
restaurant,
money?
right?
A restaurant. There's a 5% meal tax. How much of the money's mine? It's just a shell game.
Right.
George Harrison, Taxman, great song.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a show in rock and roll one of these days.
Yeah.
right?
One day we'll
I
get Ed
wonder if
involved.
you got your yurt and
Yeah.
you put it in
Someone
the
will find a
harbor.
way. Right.
I wonder if you would you'd get a tax for buying the yurt, but I wonder if they could
If I
tax
just
you out in
rent-
the ocean.
I wonder about that. If I went
Yeah,
to the
so-
3-mile limit, you know what I mean?
Then you're
and
not
just
on
floated
anybody's
on a yurt.
Right. I
I'm
actually
in
don't even think you could do
international
the
waters.
3 miles because because
I know
who
a ga-
owns the
Right.
the shoreline?
Right. And the beauty of that is the world becomes your bathroom at that point.
There you go. There you go.
And then so you're not paying for a water
You
sewer.
don't have a sewer, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I know someone that works at CBS, and he says because he does a lot of work in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
which rents are about $5,000 a month. He says, "Not me." He goes, "I bought a boathouse,
Mm-hmm.
and all I do is live on the boat, and that's it."
Right, because you know the boats in Boston Harbor, like
Yeah.
over in Charlestown,
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the in the marina.
Yeah.
There are people that live there.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
year round. I'd
so,
do it.
So I
I'd do
wonder
it.
is there a tax on that? They
I don't
must
know.
pay.
They
They must
must.
pay
Not
a
as much,
fee to live in the marina.
Right. You have to probably rent a slip or whatever. Right.
Right, but
In Massachusetts, they just passed an act. I know we're jumping around a little bit on the Airbnbs. They're taxing that now
they
if
should.
you don't live
you
in
know
the
how
property.
because you got to register. Yeah.
much? You know how many millions of
I know.
dollars Airbnb made?
Right. Right. So they caught on and they did that.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Next, the seller suggests that if you get a higher than $1 million, she'll get you a higher commission. Nope, you can't do that. It's got to be a straight commission.
Right.
All right.
You
so
can't decide how much commission you make.
You can't do they call it a net commission.
Right.
No, you
So-
have to be like across the board. Like if the company is a 5% commission, you can't just
You can't make up a commission. I
Yeah.
want to make
based
8%.
on the purchase
Right.
price.
Next, you put a seller's description of property together, which just explains all the issues with the house. So what happens is, you just got to remember we could do that form all day long. But the key thing on that is if you sell a house and that buyer does a home inspection and gets out of the deal, say the seller's description of property has no issues on it. A buyer gets out of it because there is water in the basement. you got to make sure you change that seller's description of
Yeah.
property. And a lot of people don't do that.
And that's what sometimes we have different real estate agents on our show, and some people say you should do a home inspection before you list the property to see what the problems are,
might be,
and then maybe solve them. But the other half says, no, we don't want to know what the problems are because then we have to disclose it.
Yep.
How many times can we say it on this show?
I
Due
know.
diligence.
Proactive.
You'd have less headaches buying property.
Right.
And there'd be less babies in the world.
On due diligence,
Due diligence.
I
If
agree.
you're doing your due diligence.
I've never heard us tie that in together.
But I'm telling you, there'd be...
That's what Tony's here for.
The population would go down if everyone did due diligence.
Yeah.
So you
Just think about what you're going to do before
you
you
do it.
it.
But I don't think
and the
that-
consequences that are involved.
So 9 months from now,
yes.
after our hundreds of thousands of people watching this podcast
yes.
are going to do their due diligence,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a drop-off.
Right.
It's
No,
gonna-
no, there's going to be no increase in the population.
Well, there won't be a spike in the population.
Right.
Because those are two things you shouldn't do when you're drunk.
Is
Yeah.
buy a house.
Buy a house and meet somebody.
Well,
Right.
Hook up. Right.
Hook up.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that
I was
what
trying
they?
to find a delicate way of putting that.
Yes. No, you did. You did.
Yes.
So, all right, we'll see the drop off. We're gonna watch that.
All right.
All right. So now you got the listing, and you put a little snappy little ad in MLS in the local paper,
Yeah.
saying you are looking for a nice family to purchase this home.
Can't do it.
That is, you're very good. That is walking distance to St. Athanasius
Can't say
Catholic
it.
Church.
Can't say it.
Can't say that stuff.
So in other
Can't
words, you're
say
looking
it.
for a Catholic family
Right.
to
Right.
move in,
And- right.
and
So it looks like
that's
they have to be
discrimination.
They
targeting.
serve they share your beliefs,
Right.
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 which alienates most
right.
of the.
And religion
Right.
is a protected class, and you're not supposed to discriminate
There's a
against
bunch
other
of
people.
protected classes when
Right.
it comes to getting
And the
your
other
real
one is
estate
family.
license.
So
yeah.
you can't say nice family.
Right.
So I'm a single person, so
Yeah,
I
right.
can't
Can't-
buy in
right,
here?
right.
All right.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Uh,
If I had to sell my house to somebody with shared beliefs of mine, it'd be about 4 people in the world.
in the world.
Right.
Yeah. And,
It's no
and
good.
those
You can't
four,
do it.
and those four would only have certain part of your belief. You would never find anyone with
With my complete
right,
belief
right,
system.
your complete
No.
DNA.
No, you
no.
are a unique
No, so you'd
character.
4, but
Yes.
they'd probably have a couple. And
Yeah, you'd have
yeah.
to weigh.
Right.
You know,
right,
is
right.
one more important than the other?
Right.
How heavily
Exactly.
it skews.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like this one, Rick, at the very bottom. You have an open house.
Yep. You have an open house. This is interesting. First person comes in, and you're in theory making small talk.
Right.
You say to that person, "Where are you from?"
Oh, can't do it.
Very good.
Red flag right there.
There was a broker that was sued on that, and
And it could very well have been small talk.
Right.
But from somebody, that maybe has an accent or looks
Yep.
Right.
different or
Right.
I
whatever.
really do
Right.
think the girl was just trying to make conversation.
Right. But the person that was asked the question
Right.
felt discriminated against.
Right.
And
Like if I said I'm
it's a
from
big thing.
someplace.
Right.
You know, bright
ahead.
idea number 67 from Tony V.
Go ahead.
Why don't we do it like they do on The Voice?
Oh, like
I
have
like
them,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
You walk into an open house
Backwards.
backwards.
I like that.
And the one person sitting in
So
a
you gotta
chair,
hit the button.
You got to hit the button.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't see them. You don't know what they look like.
Right.
We filter their voices, and it all comes down to numbers at that point.
Right. That's the way it
gotta write
should
this
be.
down.
Right.
That's the way it
And
should
then
Right, and
you
each
hit
of
the
them is-
button, you turn around
Right.
and say, "There's the person."
There's the person.
Right.
that.
And everybody else is standing over a trap door.
Oh,
So when they get
Here we go.
eliminated,
You were doing really well,
Yeah,
Tony.
no, we
get
like that.
eliminated.
We like that. We
no,
like
this
that.
is the part I'm most interested in.
Bang.
Pit of alligators, boom.
Bye-bye.
All right. So after you get through that problem of asking the girl where is she from,
Can't do it.
can't do it. You find another buyer come in. You find out she has no agent herself. So you say, well, I can act as a dual agent for both of you.
Right.
So we could talk about that.
Dual agency is very, very tricky.
Conflict of interest,
Yeah.
it seems
But
to me right
it's
away.
okay to do it
It's legal.
as long as the buyer
Bunch of
and the
disclosures.
seller know
Right.
that they're being duly
duly
represented.
represented.
Yeah.
One broker, 2 clients.
Don't understand how that can be because everybody has you have different needs and wants in this
Correct.
transaction.
Right.
As the seller, you want to get the most for your money.
Right, exactly.
And as the buyer, you want to pay the least you want
So
to
it
pay.
doesn't seem like it's not consistent.
It's not consistent.
And people got to
at all.
remember, the seller's paying your buyer agent.
Right.
The seller is paying you buying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So the dual agent's getting both commissions.
So now he's just doubled up.
Well,
Why don't more people
and
do
you
it
know
then?
what? Honestly, dual agency does work.
Right.
It does work when everybody has the same. Everybody's in agreement, and there's no real everybody's. I agree to pay this amount. The buyer comes in. I agree
Right.
to pay this amount. The seller says, I'm going to take that amount. If there's no animosity, and it's all a very smooth transaction.
This
Don't you
to me-
agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This to
Absolutely.
me sounds like you need a good law firm representing you from the second you decide to buy a house.
Yep.
781-944-9220.
Did you just slip him another 100?
No, absolutely.
I know why I'm here.
Good boy.
No fooling you. All right, so that person, after you referred them to a home inspector, find out there's a crack in the foundation.
Oh,
Jeez. And you've probably been there before.
I've had that.
Crack in the foundation. She says, all right, I don't want to buy the property anymore. All right? So she gets out of it. New person comes in. Oh, I like this part too. Before that new person comes in, now you're getting anxious because that seller told you I have to close at the end of the year or I'm going to freak out. So as the agent, you tell all your broker friends you need offers on this townhouse soon because the seller is under a time constraint and over leveraged.
You can't tell. You
can't say
cannot.
that.
An agent cannot disclose anything about the seller.
Right.
Only disclose about the property that
Right.
they're selling.
Right.
You can't tell that they're getting a divorce. You can't tell them that
Going
they
to
have a
prison.
huge
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to prison, have a huge mortgage on the house, and they really need to
Need
get
to get
out.
out from underneath.
So because that changes how the
dynamic,
buyer.
Sure.
You guys are you're pretty good on this.
I
We're not
didn't even read
reading the
this.
notes.
I know.
was going to say that.
It's almost like you do this for a living.
know.
I know
exactly.
But
So-
I'm not a real estate agent.
No,
No,
you are
no.
a
But it's
paralegal extraordinaire.
osmosis.
Yes.
Right.
Did I not mention
Listen.
to you in the beginning of the show that you're a paralegal extraordinaire?
You didn't say.
Ah,
You didn't
sorry.
tell our
Listen,
listening
Kath,
audience.
let's both of us just admit that
Just
just
agree.
hanging around Rick,
Yeah,
he
it just. Yep.
exudes,
Yep.
information and intelligence.
Well, actually,
Exactly.
I was going
And
to
it
tell you
leaches
that it was
onto
like
us.
me exuding onto him, and that's why he's so smart.
I see.
Let it,
But he's
let,
the. But
Tony,
he's.
Let it go.
Let it go. I've tried.
I'm only
I've
kidding.
tried.
Yeah,
Only
but
kidding.
however it gets there.
I've tried. I
No,
tried.
in both of our
Why
defenses.
don't you and me just finish up this show?
However,
Don't be touching my birthday gift.
All right.
however it gets there, let's admit that Rick is the conduit.
We actually.
He's the holy
The
grail.
reason that we're so good at what we do is we all bring something. Everyone in our
the
office
plate.
brings
Something
something to the table,
Right.
and
Right.
without the next component,
Right.
the other one doesn't
Look at Ed
work.
Sullivan rolling his eyes.
Right.
Oh my
He's
God!
not rolling his eyes.
All right, I extrapolated.
Right.
All right, so next.
Listen, Rick has to shut down his office when I go on vacation.
I know,
Or used
I know,
to have to,
I know,
right?
I know.
Not
so,
anymore.
So the next one is, and tell everyone that this property sits in the best school district in town.
Can't do it.
Can't do
Can't
that.
do it. You know what it's called? Puffing.
Puffing.
Yeah, puffing.
Do you
it's
know that,
illegal.
That used to be called
real
something
estate
different when I was a
agents-
youngster.
Yes.
Real
Don't
estate
make me
agents
laugh.
that break some of these
Rules. Yeah.
they're huge fines. Like one-time
Yeah.
fine
Really?
of $10,000. Or they're not kidding around.
Right,
They're not.
right.
And who would turn you in?
The
You know what
client would call
happens?
the board of realtors.
Really?
Yeah. or
Can I
the
jump in on this one?
real estate commission.
So what happens is sometimes like a buyer or seller is irked about something. Like a buyer.
Right.
He went through his financing date. He's about to lose his deposit money.
He got denied.
He got denied after the financing date. He's about to lose his deposit.
Right.
If you're a smart real estate attorney, you would stop bringing in everything else into the process. Say, listen, you didn't do a lead paint form right. You did a lot of puffing. On and
Right.
on. So that's
Just throw it against the wall.
exactly
See what, sticks.
happens.
Yeah.
All right. So the next
Which is how I define my career, by the way.
just thrown
Just
against
thrown
the wall.
against the wall.
You see
Well,
what
you have
happens?
a
Right
good-
now, I'm about knee deep in it.
But the thing is, when you say a joke, and if everyone laughs, you
We
have
know
your
it-
feedback
yeah, we know it-
immediately.
right,
And
we
if
know
no
it
one
works.
laughs, you don't.
Right.
Maybe you'll try it again,
Right.
but chances are you'll just.
Well, you know what's funny?
most
Sometimes
of
your
them
jokes are the same jokes, but it's the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
That one I saw you at down
Down
at
at
Granite Links.
Granite Links.
Funniest show I've ever seen in my life.
You know, comedy's not for everybody.
There was 200 people. It was just set up weird. The chairs are all sit
Well,
back.
it's all about the environment, right?
Oh,
course,
absolutely.
You need to be seen and heard, and people have to be in the
And
right
the thing is,
mood.
when somebody goes and buys a ticket to a comedy show,
Yeah.
they're going to see a comedy show.
Yeah.
But when you throw a comedian into a different
Oh,
environment,
yeah.
like you kind of just say, oh, you know what, and then we'll have a couple comedians.
I remember doing one. The dad of a bride thought it'd be fun to have a comedian at
The wedding,
not the wedding,
the rehearsal.
at the rehearsal dinner, but did not tell the prospective bride and groom that I was coming.
Yeah.
And it was just awful.
Well, if you're not in the mood to sit there, like if
Emotions
you want
are high.
if you want to
Yep.
socialize,
Right.
that's not the
Right.
place. You don't go to a comedy
Right.
a comedy show to socialize. So
Right.
it depends on you go out of your way to go to a comedy show.
Comedy
Don't
show,
you agree?
right, yes,
And then
yeah.
those are the crowds
Some
that are the
people's
best.
emotions are
Yeah.
just too high.
Yeah, or I got the ones where people call you and go, "We're not going to tell them you're a comedian. I'm going to tell them that you're the new hire in HR."
Not a
You-
good idea.
Not a good
That's-
idea. Everyone thinks they know what's.
I went to a wedding a few months ago, and my wife's cousin, I shouldn't give too many clues, but wife's cousin, just one of these, he's got ADD or whatever. He's floating around the whole time.
Your fictitious wife's cousin.
Yes,
Right.
yes, my second wife's cousin.
like
so.
the wife in my act.
Yeah, exactly,
Not
exactly.
the real wife.
And your kids, your
So,
fictitious
so the
kids.
groom of about 20 minutes is
Yeah.
just roaming around chatting with everyone.
Not paying attention.
Not
to
paying
the bride.
attention to the wife, right, the bride. So, and it wasn't, sometimes you have the, all the people at the table. This one was just him and her.
Right.
And he's gone. He leaves his jacket and he's off just,
Glad-handed with his buddies, drinking. getting drinks,
I
sure.
said, you know what I should do? I went up and sat in the chair.
Yeah, there you go.
And I put on his jacket and I started clinking as if we're going to, kiss.
Kiss.
And yeah.
That
it did not go over well. With
All right,
the,
Rick, have you learned your lesson
the
yet?
wife's parents thinking, oh, I just spent $50,000 and I have some
And
knucklehead
now
up
this
there.
guy's going to try to
try to
kiss
kiss
my
my
daughter.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I did do one wedding where someone asked specifically. It was the second wedding for both of them. They were a little older.
Yep.
It was a small affair.
Yep.
They were fans and
Well,
had
then
heard me on
that's different,
WROR.
yeah.
And I tried to talk them out of it. They go, no, we're both huge fans, and
Yep.
people know you're coming, and we just,
Yeah.
but it's our second wedding. It's just our friends and family, and it went great.
Yeah.
Because the expectations
Right.
were managed,
So, yes.
bringing it back full
Yeah.
circle.
Good job.
If any of my kids get married, can you come to the wedding? Just say a couple
I'd
words.
come to your kid's wedding anytime, sure.
But that's not good either.
Why don't you have him be a guest
I
as
was just going to
opposed
say
to
you should just
why
come
would
as
he-
a
yeah.
Oh, I've walked out of family gatherings
When they make
people-
you perform?
Yeah, they'll put a microphone
Oh,
on,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and I go, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because yours is very direct.
Yeah.
They do ask me a million things at weddings. What's the rate? I'm going to try to buy a house. I'm thinking, let's talk about
Not
this.
today.
I was thinking I'd
Yeah.
have another beer.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly.
goodbye.
I
Bye.
think we have to have a part 2 on this because I think
Oh, are we done?
And we did a lot.
We
Wait
did
a
a
minute,
lot
we didn't
today.
get to half of the stuff
that's
that I wanted
my
to
point.
talk about.
We got some amazing information for our next week's show. Then
Great.
All right.
That's great.
I mean we're into it, and I know that's why I'm picturing.
Yeah, we're at 32.
And
So when you manage
He's
your
so
seller's
jealous.
expectation, when you manage the seller's
it's a great point. It's the
expectation,
first point we made. Yeah.
some things are out of your control.
Right.
But if you are
And you
good,
should tell the sellers that.
If you are good at your job,
Yep.
you can be proactive on the things that you know that might
Right,
be out
right.
of your control,
Right.
and try to reel
Right.
it in. And
So
and,
tell the seller you might not get 10,000 out of it, and I can show you math.
or
You're
you
not
might
getting.
not close
not
on the
closing.
31st of December.
Yeah.
Or there's a bunch of things that you
Right.
can do. That way your seller looks at you and says,
And we'll
that
talk
was
about
a pretty good experience, and I
Right.
will refer
Right.
you out to somebody else.
So, and we'll talk about this next week.
It
but
all goes back to W.C. Fields.
go ahead.
You can't cheat an honest man and never give a sucker an even break.
Right.
And with that pearl of wisdom,
We're out of here.
we're out of here. Thank you, Paralegal Extraordinaire.
Oh, my pleasure.
Tony V, we think you're the funniest man on the planet.
Yeah.
A joy, as always.
No one could do what you do on this show.
Right.
How's
No
that
one
for-
wants to do
No,
it.
I mean, we have a thin, group of people
Yeah,
who've asked.
small margin.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. See you next week on Kathy Holtshouser's birthday.
Woo!
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.